Good evening, Puerto Gato. I'm your host, Jim Lewis. Tonight, city officials proposed massive transit developments for the city, but some residents were not united in their support of the plan. Our reporter Maria Cortez goes out to find exactly why Gatoans are not on board.
Buses are a key part of any major city. Puerto Gato has seen a massive population boom in recent years. And at the same time, has seen that same increase in traffic congestion, causing many to have to spend more time just getting to work. I mean, it's a 10-mile walk from my kid to school. Yeah, we got people building skyscrapers in the square. He's referencing the new VerdeLink building downtown. The new company also recently required the rail yard and the train station due to a sale by the city officials as they claim it was hemorrhaging money. That decision transferred control of a key transit hub from the public sector to a private corporation, sparking backlash from residents who fear rising fares and reduced accessibility. The train is like $40 now. How am I supposed to visit my family in San Cornelia if we gotta deal with traffic on the roads and taking out a mortgage just for the train? And back in Gato City Hall today, Mayor Boferman met with the governor, city planners, business leaders, and even some activists to see what they could do to improve issues like these. What they came up was GATO MOVE: mobility, opportunity, vision, and equity. The largest part of this initiative was launching Gato Go, the city's first bus transit system featuring 3 BRT routes to cut down congestion. Meanwhile, MetroGato, a new rail company, will test light rail on 6th Street and Cornelia Boulevard. With these changes on the horizon, the question remains, will Gato Move bring the transit relief residents need, or is this just another step toward privatization taking over Puerto Gato's future? For PGTV News, I'm Maria Cortez.
Thank you, Maria. After the break, how a win by Pico Verde High School led to this road being named Green Street. But first, over to Jay with gameplay.
Thanks, guys. So in today's episode, we'll be prepping for some major highway changes by adding in 2 new interchanges. Then we'll start adding in a commuter rail system to reshape how people get around in the city. After that, we'll add in 3 BRT lines using some modded assets and a few local bus routes. Stick around to see how I completely redevelop Gato Square. But first, do you think Gato Move is the right step forward for Puerto Gato, or is the city making a huge mistake with the transit expansion? Should the government have kept control, or do you think VerdeLink can actually improve things? Let me know in the comments. And if you're enjoying this deep dive into Puerto Gato, don't forget to drop a like. It really helps the channel grow and keep these episodes coming. But let's go ahead and dive in. Hello and welcome back to Puerto Gato. Today we're going to be focusing our episode entirely on getting our transit system up and running, something I've been really excited to dive into. So transit is actually what got me into urban planning in the first place. It plays a huge role in people's lives, and I've seen that firsthand. You know, growing up in poverty, I relied on the bus to get to high school and work. In college, transit made commuting to class like so much easier, and that's just my own experience. Millions of people depend on reliable transit every single day. So now we're going to be bringing that same opportunity to Puerto Gato residents. So when I was planning these routes, I didn't just, throw lines, plan anything anywhere. I wanted to make sure that these would actually be useful. So I used some of the in-game data overlays to kind of figure out the best placement for these. So if we look at our population, the dark blue areas show where the most people live. So we know that these are high demand spots. But we also need to think about workplaces. So because transit shouldn't be just about getting around, it should be about, getting people to work efficiently. So we also, in that same vein, should be thinking about traffic flow, because fewer cars on the road means less congestion and smoother commutes for everybody. As we can see, we have a couple of traffic jams all around the city. Usually, you've got people dead, but we'll fix some of those issues. But keeping all that in mind, I put together this basic transit plan for Puerto Gato. So we can see here that the blue lines that I have are the BRT lines. And the red are the tram lines here, the light rail we're going to have. And I have a couple star location for, terminals. But yeah, we'll kind of expand on this as we go on throughout the episode and kind of best suited to match the city's needs. But I just wanted to show a little bit of the planning behind how cities operate and, the logistics that kind of go behind it. But there's one thing we need to fix first, and that is some of our highways. So we're going to start off over here up north where Pico Creek Parkway kind of underpasses I-56. And I think this will be a great connection to kind of future-proof, just because I think Pico Creek Parkway acts as a major connection for all of our industrial areas. So we have our cargo terminal. It kind of connects to the Iron Ridge extraction, as well as our initial industrial area we have over here. So I kind of want to implement some better infrastructure over here. So we're gonna put in a partial clover, but we're gonna first start off with the kind of, I can't really do this without setting myself up for the future of this episode. So all right, and we'll just kind of connect this in with the complex curve tool. Or instead of doing that, we can just use a nice clean 90-degree angle and maybe just use one of the custom roads I've built to kind of smooth things out. So what we'll do next is we're going to go ahead and add in our clover leaf, and I want this to be pretty skinny, so we'll kind of hug it pretty tight, I-56 here, as we create our on and off ramps, and then I'll worry about the lane math right after this. All right, and that is our little interchange. Let me go ahead and fix up the few traffic connections that I didn't go and fix when I was going crazy here. But I got some nice angles. I'm pretty proud of myself. All right, I went a little cynical on this side, and I probably will come back and do the same thing over here. But I think this is a nice little interchange now. So we'll move on to next up. We'll be switching from this parklow to a divergent diamond because I think it'll help us handle our traffic volumes more efficiently, and it'll help alleviate the traffic that's caused by everybody wanting to turn left here. Other than, you know, they're just kind of fun to make, they'll also allow more kind of continuous flow as opposed to the partial clover that we had before. So in theory, it's supposed to take up more or less space, I mean, but we can see if we manage to do that. I'm also going to get rid of my over-the-top landscaping that I have here. So I'm really bummed out about it. I love it so much, but, you know, we can't stop progress here. All right, we got our second interchange done all here. I already went through and fixed all the lanes, and as we can see, it is slicing through traffic. It is handling it well. I also put the split phasing, and I'm not really sure if that was the right thing to do, but it seems like it's working as I want it to. So yeah, so now you can, if you're getting off the highway, you don't have to wait for the light. You can just go ahead and merge in. So yeah, this diverging diamond, I just love it. Even though they kind of suck to make, I think I kind of figured it out a little bit, minus the minute details that I always pay too much attention to. But let's go ahead and move on to our next fix. What we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and turn this into a T interchange. Just since we have this golf course, I didn't plan for it to have this much density around it, but that's kind of how cities happen. Things just kind of happen. So we're going to kind of retrofit this interchange here and turn it into a T. Let's go ahead and bring a straight segment right across the Interstate 56 here, and I'll try and get as close to the ground as we can. I want to go ahead and make this curve from the interstate onto this as smooth as possible, so I might even have to turn on anarchy for this. So this next one's going to be our kind of hardest one. I'm going to try and bridge this one over here and merge it into our westbound Interstate 56 here. Hey guys, Future J jumping in here. Just want to let you know that I did change this to a trumpet interchange. I know it looked horrible from before. As I was editing it, I was like, I can't post that. But yeah, we added a little, Verde Vista crest here. So I think that's pretty nice. So yeah, but back to the video. And I think that's a little ugly with the terrain and whatnot, but I'm going to pull away now after I've gone a little cynical with it. But as you can see, we got some nice connections. Well, not nice, but we got some connections, I guess. And yeah, so should provide some access. I'm going to come back and kind of fix this out, smooth this out, because right now it's still a little sharp. So I'll come right back to that. But let's go ahead and move on to planning some of our tram lines. All right, and as you can see, I went through and I kind of deleted the rail that was previously there because I did a little bit of research on how I wanted to model this in terms of this is going to be a private company. So let's go ahead and actually rename that really quick. And I chose VerdeLink for this. And I think that really fits well into our storyline because we kind of got rid of some of the previous rail lines. And we could kind of say that was due to the current government administration's belief about rail, and they're saying it's not profitable. So we can see that a company moved in, bought the rail lines and whatnot, and now is kind of fragmenting each part of that. So that's why I'm going to say that the tram company is a separate entity. And I think it would be kind of fit as well to kind of get rid of some of these industries and move them over there or over here per se. So let's just kind of get rid of, I think, basically all of these factories. And I know everyone's going to be upset, but we're going to recreate the job. So you guys will have to remind me if I forget to add those industries back, but we're going to go ahead and add our MetroGato tram depot right about here in this parcel. So now that we have that, what we're going to do is kind of curve the tram lines to kind of follow where this old track is, and we'll kind of say we incorporated it into the construction so we could cut cost on materials and whatnot. All right, and so basically now that we have that connection, we're going to kind of still change all of this segment from about Vermont Street to Cornelius Boulevard into a separated tram line as well. So yeah, we'll just have it right on this side here, and kind of we'll plan our routes or our stations out after we place all of our initial tram tracks. All right, it's gonna get kind of confusing here, but basically we're gonna kind of do the same thing and kind of switch sides based on the priority or the the amount of density on the building. So obviously I'm not gonna bulldoze all of this here, so I may switch the rails or the tram system on this side rather, and then yeah, we'll kind of switch back and forth as we approach here for our purple line. So I'll start off on this side. And I just want to make sure that I can keep all of the yellow lines in line. I'm a little cynical like that. I apologize, guys. All right, and then right here on 7th, as you can see, as I said before, we have all of this right away. So I'm going to probably switch sides over here as we approach here. So maybe right here, we'll kind of switch that. All right, and before I forget, let's go ahead and kind of clean up the ones where it's kind of a little woggly. And then let's go ahead and fix Lakeside Walkway really quick. And then as we come over here, I think I'm going to go ahead and create a little tram stop. So we'll just kind of curve around and kind of swoop back over here, just so everyone can kind of have like a direct access to the hospital, because we're kind of having a little bit of health issues. You can't really tell right now, but we've been going through a lot of death waves. I mean, if you look at our health percentage, it's 58%. So kind of want to make it easier for people to get to the hospital rather than waiting for an ambulance. All right, and we'll come back to this area once we add our, our tram stops. But let's go back over here and start off our orange route. Ooh, if I can find it. We're going to turn this spot near the highway into our little tram terminal. So I know that there's not really any development over here right now, but that doesn't really mean that it's a bad area. I think this can create a lot of demand here, and by us putting a station here, it can kind of make this area more accessible and kind of spur some development over here over time. So that's kind of having issues right now, but we'll kind of try and connect that up as we go along Vermont here, and we'll kind of do the same thing that we did on Cornelius Boulevard. So yeah, we'll just kind of base it based on where we have empty land, and I think once we get towards the farms, we'll kind of have to do some eminent domain. And then as we approach here, we're gonna have to take some eminent domain from the Chugman produce farm. And as you can, I've kind of clipped a bunch of Vermont tree onto the farms already, but we'll kind of fix that in post. But let's go ahead and kind of, we'll kind of connect this right back at 6th Street, but I wanted to create some kind of stop right here in this little area. So maybe we don't even have to have it, yeah, we won't actually, you know, claim that much again. We'll just kind of curve around it instead. Let's go ahead and expand this part here. So I think instead of that, we're going to develop a more formal stop near Verde Square to kind of reflect the city's higher level of investment in this area. So instead of that tram track, we'll do one with a sidewalk over here instead, with like a dedicated platform, kind of reinforcing the district's pedestrian-friendly design here. This will also kind of, highlight how in real life transit funding is kind of unequal, and wealthier districts tend to have higher level of infrastructure. So I think right about here we'll go back down to a 2-lane road. I just wanted to do as we approach this highway segment, I guess we do have the road access, so I mean, why not just go ahead and use this as a chance to urbanize this road. As you can see, I went ahead and renamed Vermont into Green Street as well as I kind of fixed this all up. Just wanted to add some more character, some more lore into this city. As I have all these green named places, so I feel like I should probably have something that kind of ties to that. So yeah, we have Green Street now. I think that's pretty good. We'll come back down here south near the city, near the core, and we're good to kind of connect here. I think what we'll do is we'll come down 5th Street, maybe with one of these roads, or maybe I'll create something else. I just love the roadbuilder. I don't know why I use it so much, but we'll kind of loop around at the train station here before coming back. Or maybe we'll even just use one of these alleys, and we'll kind of no one's using them really, and we'll just kind of use them as a loop for this tram network. Cool. And with all of our tram infrastructure all placed now, we can go ahead and add in our stops. And so I've kind of created yet again a custom road for each stop, based off of what type of road it is. So this is a 2-lane road, so we'll kind of switch those out every 2 or 3 blocks in between. We'll kind of place it in key spots for density based off of that. So let's start off with the green line here first, and so if I can find it, or it might be on medium roads, yeah, so we'll just add this one in here. We can kind of say that VerdeLink sponsored some of the construction there, so MetroGato had to have a station right in front of their building. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of delete some of these buildings because I don't honestly like them, so I might replace them in this episode anyway, so we'll kind of give ourselves that space for now. So now that we have that kind of cleared out, I think I'm going to go ahead and just place the tram station or tram stop right about here. We'll just get something simple like this. So next up, what we're going to do is we're going to place all of our stops. So I'm going to upgrade every 2 or 3 blocks to this road that I've created. Surprise, surprise, I've created another road. But this will kind of allow a better aesthetic for them getting on and off the train. So we'll kind of start off right here. Or I guess we have that one downtown. So we'll kind of go up here and start that out. And so like I said earlier, I want to kind of make sure to put these where they kind of make sense. So I'll put these at key intersections or areas where I think they'll kind of encourage density, because good transit will kind of shape how a city grows and kind of make it more accessible and attractive than it otherwise might have not have been. All right, and before we kind of leave off over here, I'm going to kind of wrap this our trail path around here and connect it back up, kind of where this we switch from 3 lanes to 2 here. All right, and this, I don't really like the amount of trees here, so I'm gonna do a little bit of pre-detailing over here. Maybe add a couple trees and stuff just to while I delete these. And so next up, what we'll do is I'm going to go ahead and place a elementary school here, and we're going to just use one of the newer Eastern European ones. So we'll just place this guy right here. All right, and I think that looks pretty nice. So yeah, we'll leave that there, and that should spur some density. I think now I want to kind of move that stop there, or maybe even here, so it can be right in front of, I guess, I don't know. It would be right in front of this train station, but I don't think I'd mind that much. Or, I mean, it's only a block, so I feel like they can walk that far. All right, and so since this is a private company and I hate doing this, we're gonna go ahead and kind of raise the price of these to maybe about 10. Actually, we'll do 8, so just so it's more attractive than parking here. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and increase that to a whopping $30 or whatever for parking there, and we'll do maybe 20 for this guy. So this would really make, very transit focused ways to get here very attractive in this area. So Yeah, so I think a lot of people would start using this. So we'll also do the same thing for the purple line. We'll do about $8 for that guy, and that should help us, make back the cost of this infrastructure for right now. I think I'll probably make these free in the long run. And with all of that done, let's go ahead and move on to some of our BRT lines. So for the first route, we are going to kind of start off right here by the grocery store, and then we'll use Lakeside Drive as our major thoroughfare. As you can see, it's pretty continuous, pretty nice corridor there. And then we'll continue up Lake Avenue and then kind of collect all of that and then end up right around this school here. So we once again have a custom road in here. So we're going to use these 6-lane divided roads, and I'll go ahead and add the stops in here as well. So next up, we'll go through and place those bus stations similarly to how we place our tram stops near those key intersections every 2 or 3 blocks to prevent overlap and prioritize balanced coverage. All right, and before we can even place any of those bus stations, we have to place the bus depot. So we'll place our Gato Go or Go Gato building right here. So let's go ahead and delete this parking lot and this surface. And I'm just noticing this is where the old rail yard used to be. So I think this is great because it'll kind of repurpose the land and it'll revitalize the labor availability in the area. And it'll keep buses close to the city and their routes close as well. And, kind of recenter jobs around this area just generally. So we'll place that right here. So I went ahead and named this building Gato Go. It's kind of like a play on words, and it kind of ties to the city's name. So I think that's nice. And this will be a state-funded, transit option. So I'm gonna make sure that these these BRT lines are free. But let's go ahead and place all of our bus stops for our first, line. So next we'll go ahead and add in our second BRT route, and this will connect Verde Square to Gato Square because they'll be 2 of the city's most important hubs. Since Verde Square is a rapidly growing district and Gato Square is like the major commercial transit center, connecting them will kind of reinforce these areas as key destinations, and they'll kind of help provide a reliable commute for like shoppers and tourists and workers in this area that we really kind of need. Second one will be kind of right here on North Street. It'll continue up north up here, obviously, and then turn left on Coleridge, and then can kind of collect up here by Verde Square as well before ending out. So our third and final route is going to go through some of our lower density neighborhoods. And even though those are more suburban, it'll help connect these residents to major employers, and it'll kind of provide some key transfer points. I'm going to make sure they kind of intersect with the other 2 rapid routes we have. And it'll encourage future growth along these roads and kind of be a built-in part of this community. All right, and now that we have all of those placed, that took forever, longer than you guys probably think. We are going to kind of route these out, and I'm gonna kind of go ahead and delete all of this here, and we're gonna place a bus station instead here. So I'm going to go ahead and clear out this entire block, and we're going to delete the clinic here as well and replace it with the larger building later. But this spot makes a lot of sense for our bus station because it's right next to every road, and so it'll kind of make this an ideal transit hub. So with all the trams and the train station all in this area, it'll kind of formalize this area as the transit. All right, we have a little bit cut off there, but I think I can fix that. All right, and that's looking pretty good now. I kind of covered that all up now. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and create our routes, and we'll have each of them, or I guess not the one that's going up by on Cornelia, but we'll have the two that kind of warrant going downtown stop at the bus station, and maybe this one kind of acts as they can transfer at these two locations to go downtown. All right, and then now with that kind of workshop there, I just wanted this to look a little bit better. I really like that sky tunnel. I can't really color it, but I think that looks pretty nice. We'll kind of go back over here, and now we'll just add the Eastern European office right about here in this little parcel, and this will be our VerdeLink office building. And I'll just kind of add an alley or a pedestrian path. I just love these one-way pedestrian paths. They just let you do so much, but we'll just add this in right beside this here. And I think I'm going to delete some of this parking stuff so we can place some landscaping later on. So I'm going to get rid of all these decals. So now that we've set up our main major BRT routes, we're going to add in some local circulators to connect the other parts of the city that we didn't kind of get to. So these will be more smaller, frequent bus lines that serve kind of neighborhood routes and key destinations, and it'll kind of connect them to the larger transit network. So we'll start our first route out at the grocery store in Crescent Pines and connect it to Gato Square. Our second route will connect Lakeview to downtown. Since Cornelia didn't have the density to justify the full BRT line down it, I want to ensure this area has a solid, access to transit. So we'll add in another circulator route around here. So finally, we'll look at our shuttle service. So this will be a new connection to new towns like San Cornelia or Corny Pico Island. So these regional routes often stop near or at bus stations because they kind of serve as key transfer hubs. And these will allow visitors to connect seamlessly to local transit networks as they're visiting the area. So in transit planning, this is called intermodal connectivity. And so this kind of ensures that transportation modes work together kind of to efficiently. So we'll also kind of connect it up with the rest area to fuel up and make our way to Ravenwood Crossing before finally leaving the city and circling back.
And as we can see here, we got quite a few people waiting for the bus already. So I think that's a great sign that we can go ahead and move on to some landscaping and detailing. So for our landscaping and detailing, this episode's gonna look pretty different. I'm gonna be redoing a lot of Gato Square to kind of match the new density. Matter of fact, if we look at our infographics, our info views, we can see that our education is now balanced out somehow. I don't know how, but I'm just gonna roll with it. So I'm gonna get rid of some of the schools here, maybe this one, and add in some more buildings downtown, as well as redo some of these. Maybe add in some more residential and upzone some places. We got a couple of high rent signs, so I feel like that's only natural for us to do. But with all that said, let's go ahead and get to it.
And I think that was a lot of fun. So we're starting off here in Gato Square, and I really liked how we upzoned a lot of this here. Just kind of wanted to modernize it. As we modernize our transit options, I think a lot of more density would spur up here. So I kind of wanted to resemble that and show that. So kind of mixed in some of the new Chinese high density offices, as well as, the Eastern European office. Just kind of blend everything together to kind of make it feel like it's just, it's just one theme. But I think this kind of fit well together. I also did some route, fixing. So now I kind of had everything more centralized. So I did reroute the purple line, and now it also kind of follows the downtown path down, I think this is 5th Street, and circles around here by the VerdeLink building as well. So just wanted to kind of have a central station area. So this is really becoming a transit hub, as you can see. Everything kind of circles around here, but I also did reroute the this line here, as well as I did one more here. I'm trying to our our metro here that was more of a residential. I did kind of reroute it to have it stop at Gato Square as well. So just reusing some infrastructure. I mean, we were already going down this path anyway, so I think it kind of made sense to kind of include it. And I also kind of slimmed down our diverging diamond here, kind of made it a lot less sharp than before, and a lot less bloated. I think that looks nice. And I added in some weird landscaping. I don't know what these are, but I just felt compelled to make them. So that's our new little landscaping over here, over the top. But we got our alders here. That's Boferman's favorite tree, so it gets planted everywhere. I also redid this interchange here, just made it a traditional trumpet. Thought it made a lot more sense, and added in a little bit more landscaping. Got the Verde Vista crest here. I think that kind of fits well. All right. And I think that wraps us up this episode. This was one of my favorites. I just love transit. This is what kind of makes me love this game. And the road builder also was a lot of fun too. So I kind of just, had a lot of fun this one, kind of sitting back and planning everything out. But if you guys stayed tuned this long, please go ahead and leave a like for the video, and lets me know that, it's well received, and, gives me more validation, I guess, as vain as that sounds. But thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, peace.